You might have needed to cancel on us to get Kamala Harris on.
I was not going to do that. She had an opportunity to come in. You could look at this and you could say, oh, you're being a diva. But she had an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas, and I literally gave them an open invitation. I said, anytime. I said, if she's done at 10 o'clock, we'll come back here at 10 o'clock. And that doesn't make sense because that's not what the liberals were when I was a kid. And so for me, it was always like the liberals were the ones who wanted education and open-mindedness. The liberals who were the ones with the ACLU let the Nazis talk and let them have a rally. They said you can't infringe on people's free speech because if you infringe on the speech of people that you disagree with, you're being a fucking hypocrite. The only solution to bad speech is better speech. We've always known that. But when they had the power over social media and these collective groups of people that all had the same ideology, and then that tribal mentality kicks in and you lose the perspective that you should have as an educated person that recognizes that everyone has to be able to talk and we have to figure out who's right.
So despite all of the fake hype about this, it is basically official at this point that Kamala Harris will not be doing the Joe Rogan interview, which I know we're all so shocked. We can't believe it didn't happen. I do, though, want to show you today what Joe Rogan had to say about it. But first, folks, please do us a big favor by hitting that subscribe button down below if you are new to the channel. Why? Because we are less than a week away from the election. It has never been a better time to support our work, support independent media, and ensure that we can keep bringing you these videos if you are enjoying them by hitting that subscribe button down below. Now, with that said, the cope over Kamala not doing Joe Rogan has been hilarious because we all know the reason she won't do it, because she won't do well on it. You think Kamala can sit down and have a 2 to 3 hour unfiltered conversation where she seems like a normal person and relates to young men who are the primary demographic of that audience? Absolutely not. Right? It's pretty obvious to me, like, oh, everyone's so surprised she didn't do it. Of course she wasn't actually going to do it. Yes, they may have put out a little bit of hype. They published this fake article saying, oh, Kamala's actually in talks with Joe Rogan. It was never serious. But with that said, listen to some of this cope. This one reporter says, here's how it is done, Joe Rogan. If you ask for the interview, you go to them if you're working on the road, say attempting to save democracy. I've been a reporter for 30 years, clocking 10,000 stories. You're a podcaster with a portable mic. Go get that interview, champ. So basically, these pro-Kamala journalists are trying to blame Joe Rogan as the reason the interview didn't happen. The Kamala campaign themselves said that she didn't go on the show because of quote-unquote scheduling conflicts, as if she has been campaigning so hard in the final stretch. Like, she literally took several days off just about a week ago. But we're supposed to believe that? It is total nonsense, right? No, Kamala did not do the Rogan interview because she does not have time. By the way, it's the biggest podcast in the world. If she had time for Shannon Sharp and Call Her Daddy and all this nonsense, she could have done Joe Rogan, but she knew that that would not have been a friendly interview, and that's what it is all about, okay? Let's not lie to ourselves and pretend that it is anything different than that.
With her like a human being. That's all I want to do. That's literally all I want to do.
That's trouble.
I want to know
her.
what is it like to be. I don't even give a fuck about all the stuff she's talked about policies and all these different things. We know her positions.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
Just be real.
Who are you?
The crazy thing with Kamala is
she would be well served to step into the lion's den.
No, she's not, though, because she can't do it.
I would be willing to talk about anything other than politics. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
Know who she is.
Like, if there were some certain things they didn't want to talk about, I'm like, fine, I don't care. Let's talk. I want to know who you are.
Yes.
I can find out who you are if we can talk about sports.
It's crazy how she does interview after interview and they're just like disasters. And you would think that because she would study
interviews.
And
this
just
is
like
the thing. They're
you know what I mean?
It's a fucked up way to talk that no one's used to doing. Yeah.
Right, no, exactly. That one guy in his podcast panel there is completely correct. She would not be good at it, right? That is exactly the format that does not well suit her, where you have to actually just try to behave like a real human being for about an hour or two. She's not designed for that. She's not built for that. And this, the whole time, has been the reason why the Joe Rogan Kamala podcast was never going to happen. Okay, never gonna happen. But this week that was made official, and Joe explains why in this clip, so let's take a listen.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
You guys are coming here. I'm like, I love these guys so much. Too bad. It's just there's nothing going on.
Well, I heard you might have needed to cancel on us to get Kamala Harris on.
I was not going to do that. I would have had to. I knew you guys flew from England, and I wasn't going to cancel on you because she had an opportunity to come in. You could look at this and you could say, "Oh, you're being a diva," but she had an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas, and I literally gave them an open invitation. I said, "Anytime." I said, "If she's done at 10 o'clock, we'll come back here at 10 o'clock." I go, I'll do it at 9 in the morning. I'll do it at 10 p.m. I'll do it at midnight. If she's up. She wants to, drink a Red Bull, fucking party on.
Yeah, but I think this idea that...
Yeah, but see, that's the thing about it. We don't believe this scheduling conflicts crap because, again, Joe Rogan is the biggest podcast in the world. You can fly to go do the interview. It's not like she really doesn't have the time to do it. But yes, this past Friday, she was literally in Texas where Joe Rogan is, right? She was there doing that event with Beyonce where they scammed all of the fans in the audience. So you could have done it then. Huh? Houston was the rally. You could have taken a quick flight to Austin, like Joe Rogan is bringing up, doing a midnight interview if you want to do that. Kamala claims to be so young and vibrant. It should be fine for her. By the way, she was raised in a middle-class family. But yeah, it's all excuses. It's all a smokescreen because they were scared to do this interview. I'm going to say that a million times here because it is completely true.
That you're being a diva silly because you're offering her the opportunity to do exactly what the other candidate did, right?
Well, she actually reached out when she found out that he was coming on. So their camp reached out to me. So I said, great, I would love to talk to her. But it was very difficult to tie it down, and they wanted to travel and see that.
She didn't really want to do it. It's excuses, so that way they could say we weren't scared, but they were scared. Okay, again, that's what this is. Remember about a week or two ago, she took an entire day off just to do an interview with NBC. Rogan would have gotten more views, but Rogan would not have made her look good. That's what it's all about. Again, it's so unbelievably obvious. But people like that journalist in the beginning will still make excuses. It's laughable.
You can't, if I go somewhere, then there's going to be other people in the room. And they want to control a lot of things, I'm sure, according to the Brett Breyer interview on Fox. Like, people were waving them off. That's a distraction. People in the room, like, my whole goal with her and with him is just talk. Just have a conversation like a human being. You find out things about people. You get a sense of them, at least, a real sense. That was it. I don't give a fuck what we talk about. I really don't. I just want to talk to you. Who the fuck are you?
Do you think they think that you're on his side and they're more wary of you?
I don't know. I mean, there's just because of my appearance, there's always been this assumption that I'm some right-wing MAGA guy. I was a Bernie supporter. I am not. I'm a politically homeless person for sure. I always considered myself a left-wing person. I never thought I would ever vote right-wing. But then the tides of culture shifted in a very bizarre way, and it just made me, over time, much more aware of what this stuff is really all about. Because what this stuff is really all...
Well, perhaps this in itself is also a learning experience for Joe Rogan in that political evolution. But no, again, in all seriousness, everything that Joe Rogan talked about, the fact that he did not want her campaign aides to be in the room waving off the conversation, trying to interfere with the whole situation the way they did for the Brett Baer interview, or the fact that literally he wanted to have a real human being dialogue with her. Well, when you are incapable of acting like a real human being, this is not a platform that is particularly suited for you. And that's what this has always been about. So there you have it. Frankly, I think all the other excuses are completely ridiculous. It was a scheduling conflict. No, it wasn't. Okay, you can always work something out. If it's that important, you can work it out. And by the way, before you say Joe Rogan is not important, no, he is. It's the biggest interview. It's the biggest podcast in the world. And if you can do all these cable networks, if you can do all these random YouTubers, freaking Caller Daddy, Shannon Sharp, all this nonsense, then you can do Joe Rogan, right? But it's really about, they thought it would not make her look good, but they wanted to have the appearance that, hey, we'll go on it as well. It was never going to happen. Let's just be real. That's the truth. That's the truth. With that said, though, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.